Today's guest is Nana Murakami. She runs the global recruiting at Fujifilm, a manufacturing company with 267 subsidiaries around the world. And she's the person who started their summer internship program specifically for international talent. They are actively recruiting summer intern right now, and the deadline is this Friday. So if this sounds interesting, listen fast and check the link in the show notes. In this conversation, we get into what the actual hiring process looks like at Fujifilm, what language skills you really need, and why a traditional large corporation might be one of the best places to build a long-term career in Japan. Let's get into it. Nana-san, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, hello, Misaki-san. Thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah. So today, this is our first time having a recruiter side guest who will be sharing why companies may start hiring international talent and what international candidates may go through from the recruiting to the actual onboarding their career in a Japanese company. So to get us started, Nana-san, could you please share your background and what brought you to recruiting and also Fujifilm?
Sure. So nice to meet you guys. My name is Nana Murakami from Fujifilm. So I work in global HR, Human Resource Department at Fujifilm. And my role involves recruiting talented individuals from around the world and planning and management global talent development programs. Yeah, I focus on fostering cross-cultural understanding and creating an environment where employees can thrive.
But our English is like very, very fluent.
No.
What is your global background, if I may ask?
Sure. So, well, I was born in Kyoto. I spent time there for 14 years, and I went to high school in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh,
And I was there for 4 years. And I came back to Japan for the university, but then I went on exchange to University of British Columbia as an exchange student. So that's why I have some global background, but not really though.
no, but it's good that you can also understand like what it's like to study abroad and
Mhm.
come back to Japan for, for time of work. So amazing. And in terms of your actual recruiting in Fujifilm, what are the steps that students go through currently?
Okay. So in the hiring process, we actually opened the summer internship for the international students. So we have like summer internship as a full-time selection process. So you need to join the summer internship for 8 to 10 weeks at first, and then getting into Fujifilm as a full-time.
So do students who live abroad like fly over to Japan for a summer?
Yes. That's like what we are looking for. So I heard there are a lot of students, like international students outside Japan who are interested in working in Japan. So I want them to come to Japan and do the internship there and then, get used to working in Japan.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity, especially for those who have never been to Japan or
Mm.
spend big chunk of their time in Japan. Like they not only get to know Fujifilm, but also like what it's like to live in
I know,
Japan, and
right?
especially summer in Tokyo. It's so
I
hot
know.
and brutal. Yeah, personally, I'm from Tokyo, but one of the reasons I left Japan was how hot it is in the summer. It's so stupid, but yeah, so
They
it's a
can
good.
survive the summer season in Japan. Definitely they can work in Japan for a long time, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And once the students get to Fujifilm, like get the full-time role, what are their career paths afterwards?
Okay, so actually, we don't decide their career path. So the employee is the one who decide. So we don't have like a set career path for international students. But since they have a very global background and also advanced education, employees often getting experiences at overseas locations and various domestic divisions as well, and utilizing their language skills and cultural background, they can challenge themselves for management position in the future. That's the standard career path, I guess. But as I said before, employee is the one who decide the career path, so we are not the one who decide for them.
Yeah, this kind of like generalist path is like I think one of the greatest strengths of working at a Japanese company. But when you say students get to decide which path they want to take, how does that work? How often do they have the opportunity, or what are the kind of actual process of choosing their focus once in Fujifilm?
So once a year we have chance to talk to their boss about the career path what we want to take. So there's the opportunity to actually like talk what you want to do during the interview with the boss. And also there is like the website which shows open positions in Fujifilm, not only Fujifilm in Japan, but also other countries. So we can just try to new position that you want to do, and then you can make that your own career.
And just for the audience who may not know how global Fujifilm is, like, can you describe the international offices outside of Japan?
Okay, so well, in Fujifilm is a Japanese company which has headquarters in Tokyo, but we have 267 subsidiaries around the world. Like, in the UK we have 14 companies. In the US we have 27 companies. So there is a lot, not
Wow.
Japan and Europe and US, but other countries as well.
How many countries does Fujifilm cover? Do you know?
I've never count the
There's too
number.
many to count.
Yeah, it's like, well, around the world, obviously. So we're trying to expand the subsidiaries in Africa. That's what I heard. So I guess there's not many Fujifilm in the Africa area, but other parts, other regions, I think there are Fujifilm already.
Wow. So powerful. That's so cool. Yeah. And then like when it comes to building like a long-term career at Fujifilm, like what are the kind of unique characteristics at Fujifilm compared to overseas companies?
Alright, starting a career in Japan offers a unique opportunity to work in an environment that values teamwork and harmony while maintaining a strong commitment to high quality standards and attention to details. And it helps employees to build a careful and responsible work ethic. And in addition, we think like there is a cultural emphasis on addressing challenges with long-term perspectives.
Yeah, it's a very unique, I think, strength of Fujifilm as a very long-lasting big corporation. Like it's not like a startup where your priority may change. It's like you have like a big long-term project. Among the international hires or Fujifilm employees in general, what are
Yeah.
the common characteristics that your people have?
Okay, so I think international employees and also all Japanese employees in Fujifilm have similar characteristics. So in terms of Fujifilm's employees, we think we have like willing to change or like innovative or the adaptive. So those characteristics are very common in Fujifilm.
Amazing. Do you have any examples of, you know, you witnessing people who are like that?
Sure, so let me talk about myself.
Yeah.
I'm in HR and I'm responsible for recruitment for 5 years. And first, like 2 or 3 years, well, because of the pandemic, my area that I cover was only domestic, only in Japan. But after 3 years, I was very interested in hiring international students. That's why I started to do the summer internship in Japan for international students. And I think that's like a very minor change, but that these minor changes is going to be a big change in the future, I guess. So yeah, that this could be the example for.
I don't think internships are minor. It's pretty big. Just for the context for the audience, most Japanese companies don't do long-term internship. Like when they say internship, it's like 1 day, 2 day. It's like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
workshops and like excursion to the company
Mhm.
as opposed to actual work experiences.
Yeah, yeah,
So
right.
it's quite, you're like, ahead of many other companies who
Mhm.
may not be considering even to hire international students. So it's
Yes.
amazing.
We haven't done that before, but then Fujifilm US or like Fujifilm Europe has experience doing the long-term internships. That's why we asked them how did they do that, and then we get advice from them.
Yeah, that's also a benefit of having a very large international community of
Thanks.
subsidiaries. Like you have access to all those like different
Mhm.
regions and different types of companies. That's yeah. And maybe during the internship or after they got a full-time offer, are there any barriers or challenges that some international employees may face once they got to Japan?
Well, in Fujifilm in Japan, especially, there are a lot of Japanese employees, to be honest. But they can speak English, so you guys can still communicate with them. But then, you know, Japanese employee speaks to Japanese employee in Japanese, right? So,
Mhm.
my language is one of the barriers they might but other than that, we have very open culture and we don't really have like typical Japanese working culture. We don't really have that things. So I think they can be they can have a good relationship with our employees very soon. But one thing I pick up is maybe language.
Do you have any kind of rough idea about how
Mm.
good their Japanese may need to be? Because obviously English
Yeah.
is the primary language for the job, but to get along with other Japanese employees, like what would be like the minimum
Mhm.
suggested level?
Well, I would say like you don't need to learn like how to read or how to write,
Mm,
but daily conversation is very well important. But we have how do I say no nomikai? How do I say it in
the kind of like
English?
a drinking after work.
Drinking, yeah, drinking
Yeah.
out after work, or like we eat lunch together as well. So they
Oh,
have a lot
nice.
of opportunity to learn like young generation Japanese language as well. So for student who is going to join our internship, they don't need to have like specific Japanese skill, but like just the eagerness to learn Japanese. That's all we need.
Yeah, and especially Japanese people are so kind
Mhm.
and patient. So it's not
Yeah.
that you have to have perfect Japanese, but like you said, willingness to learn
Mhm.
and interact
Yes,
with other
yes.
employees. It's definitely a key for sure. Oh, okay, then stepping back a little bit from a global perspective, what are the strengths that Japanese manufacturing company like Fujifilm have? And especially, with the rise of AI and all the other changes in the technology space, how do you think those strengths of Japanese companies may change over the like next 10 years?
So Japanese manufacturing companies are known for their advanced technologies, and Fujifilm invest heavily in research and development, producing innovative products across the diverse fields as well. And over the next 10 years, I believe that the integration of AI and digital technologies will further enhance these technical strengths and boost our competitiveness in the global market, I guess. So Fujifilm is one of the few companies worldwide that successfully adapted and transformed itself in response to the major societal shift, which is digitalization, brought by digitalization. So this history has fostered a culture of flexibility and continuous adaptation, which is a significant strength for the company, I guess.
Yeah, and AI specifically, like how is the way Fujifilm work
Mhm.
changing, right now?
Okay, so with advances in AI, so routine tasks will become increasingly automated. That's a good thing, I think. So allowing employees to focus on more creative and strategic work. Data-driven decision making will become faster and more precise. and leading to higher overall productivity and innovation.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time. And on the other hand, like even as the technologies evolve, I'm sure there are things that are constant and like very unique nature to Fujifilm. Like what are some fundamental skills and values that will remain unchanged for your company?
Okay, so as I said maybe before, like teamwork or like strong sense of responsibilities, how do I say, like warm culture, that's fundamental values regardless of technological changes, and also a continuous learning mindset, willingness to take on challenges are core values at Fujifilm.
Yeah, it's like a very fundamental, like a human characteristics, right? Yeah, and then for any students listening who want to come to Japan, who actually want to work in Fujifilm, what are some like preparations that they can start now if they want to begin their career at Fujifilm?
Okay, so first, it is important to gather broader information about the industry and the company, especially about like Fujifilm, and clarify your own interests and strengths. That's, I think, important. And improving language skills is, of course, more important, I guess. And close cultural understanding will also be benefited. Gain in communication and problem solving skills through internship or other activities will prepare you well, I guess.
Yeah. And for those who may still be unsure or hesitant about coming all the way to Japan, what advice would you give them?
Well, it's very natural to feel unsure or hesitated to come to Japan. When I was middle school, I was very unsure about going to high school in Canada, so I totally understand their feeling. But I recommend taking small steps forward. That's very important, and participating in company briefings or internship will help you to get a clearer picture by experiencing their workplace and meeting employees firsthand. So I want you guys to make a challenge, make a new change.
I'm sure any environmental change internationally is always going to be challenging, but it's good to know like there are people like you who can understand the struggles that international hires might experience and and it's also exciting for students too to discover themselves and discover new cultures and grow as a professional. Well, Nana-san, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, and I hope that students will get a lot out of this conversation. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more people like you find the show. See you next time.